Good evening, friends. Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon, a retired NYPD detective with 20 plus years in law enforcement. And if you like all things true crime related, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you will get all things DutyRon when I go live or when I upload another video. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Wells case, 27 days into this investigation, and it doesn't seem like we're really making any headway. But as we all know, and as we've spoken about many times, there is a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that we are not privy to. So I want to say a special thank you to all of my channel members, the Patreon supporters, the folks who subscribe, and also the people who leave comments down below. The comments are unbelievable. The ideas, the input, the interaction is tremendous. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you for being in here. Hello, retired Sergeant Melinda, Yulfa, Jolene, Jenny, Jen Perry, Pez, Crime Ghost, Irish Spirit Eyes. There's a whole bunch of people piling in here. I greatly appreciate you guys. So not a lot of information coming out, little blurbs here and there. The sheriff, Lawson, has come on to the local TV networks there and pleaded with everyone to stop with the misinformation. The sharing of misinformation is, as he puts it, very hurtful towards the case. It's bogging down his investigators. He's very vocal about it. TBI is very vocal about it. That's the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and I'm sure the FBI is not happy with it. So those are some of the things that they spoke about. But we are 27 days into this. We're almost a month into it, and we're getting nowhere. As far as information, as far as the investigation moving along, we're still looking for that red truck. We're going to link that down in the description below. But I encourage everybody to please use caution. Try to curtail the nasty comments and things of that nature, because yes, kids, the three siblings are on social media. They're looking at some of these comments, and it doesn't have a good, it's not a good look for them. So when you start hitting those keyboards, think about the kids and think about the situation that they have going on right now. But I'm going to play a little media for you guys so you could see. This is a couple of minutes, so it's really not that long. I'll play some media for you so you guys can check this out.
Since the beginning.
Yeah, honestly, dozens of agencies, organizations have pitched in and volunteered in the search for Summer. Now, with these efforts scaled back, what do we know about this search and where it goes from here?
Josh and Sarah, that's a really hard question to answer, but budget season is underway for a struggling Hawkins County, and that is for sure. And commissioners are now working to figure out how to help fund the sheriff's department and the other rescue squads that were there on the scene working to find the little girl.
And this is a disaster, right? So a little girl went missing. This is as big of a disaster as you can imagine for us, really.
As all eyes were on Hawkins County during the ground search for Summer Wells, commissioners want to be sure those departments are funded.
A search of this scale and of this magnitude, I felt like probably drained some resources for the rescue agencies that are volunteer and for our sheriff's department. You know, at last, I know there are literally thousands of man hours spent out there, and it's not over. And you know what that looks like for our budget.
Last week, Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said he didn't have exact totals for how much the search for the missing girl cost his department.
My patrol division, that's the officers goes out and answers the calls and stuff, and my school resource officers, just those two groups alone, they accumulated over 3,200 hours. That's not counting the rest of the division.
The search also highlighted issues with the communication system in the county and depleted funds and resources from other agencies, including rescue squads and those that are volunteer-based.
It's going to cost a lot of money. And the thing is that if it's going to cost this amount of money, we just have to figure out how to resource the sheriff's department. It's not a matter of, you know, it's going to cost this much money, so we can't continue the search. That's not part of the conversation at all. This conversation is more about how can we resource our first responders to be able to do the job we paid them to do.
Hawkins County is heading into this fiscal year on a $2 million deficit and plans to make up the money from their reserve fund. While money can be moved around, Commissioner Hannah Weiniger wonders what other costs the counties could have if funding had to be cut back for those agencies.
If these rescue organizations fold in the county, I mean, we have to have these organizations. We have to have these type of things. So if they fold, what does that look like, and what would that cost the county to pay, county employees to do these kind of services?
This upcoming year's budget for the county will go to the full commission at the end of this month. Now, it's important to make it clear that this is only the total for the Sheriff's Department's entire operating costs, not necessarily individual investigations. Now, both Commissioner Weiniger and Roach say that they expect the commission to move money around as needed when the Sheriff's Department and these other agencies come to them with the totals from this search.
Ansley, thanks. And investigators are still looking for the...
I'm going to leave this up and pause it for a second. So investigators are still looking for the red Toyota Tacoma, 1998 to 2000 model, full bed ladder rack with white buckets in the truck bed. It's still an important thing. Nobody 100% knows the reason why they want to speak to them. They're saying that these are not folks that are wanted. We need them to come in and or to get to the bottom of that one. This is one of the sticking points in the investigation. It seems to have an important piece of the puzzle. Talking about, I'm leaving this up on the screen because I want it just to get this out there just for a few moments, and that's why I'm speaking on this screen. I think it's important that we understand they're talking about budget constraints. A department and a community of this size has not seen a search like this probably in their history. A grand scale, a lot of people needing to get out there and resources and whatnot. So again, a community that is struggling to foot the bill, so to speak, to foot the bill for this is an interesting topic. It's an interesting discussion. And it, to me, is, it sounds like these folks are going to get the job done. They're going to juggle the money around. Thank you so much for the super chat. I greatly appreciate that. Susan King says, are they still looking for a live child? I think that is, again, a good question, but I'd have to say no. I want to hold hope and pray. We hold on to hope and prayer that they are looking for a live child, but I would have to say going on 27 days, the laws of averages and the percentages would say probably not. And I say that from not only just a law enforcement perspective, but sad to say that as a father myself of two children, two grown men now, but a father at one time of two children. This is just sad, very sad. Let me let the rest of this play.
Driver of a red Toyota Tacoma, a full... And investigators are still looking for the driver of a red Toyota Tacoma, a full bed ladder rack in the back. We're told the TBI stresses that the driver is the driver is a potential witness, not a suspect. To submit a tip, call the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800.
I'm going to leave this up, and I will link this down in the description. Summer Wells, the Amber Alert is still active. 1-800-TBI-FIND. Again, 1-800-TBI-FIND. Tips to tips, TOTBI at tn.gov. So there you have it, folks. The tips can be called on in to the number there. Thank you, Jennifer, for the $20 super chat. Greatly appreciated that. Summer Wells, 1-800-TBI-FIND, and we're going to leave that up for a few more minutes as we talk quickly about this case. I'm going to be looking at the chat in a few.
100 TBI find, or send your tip through an email to tips2tbi at tn.gov.
Okay, so it's tips2tbi.gov. I'll link that down below in the description box if you have any valid tips, definitely call them on in, no matter how small or large you think they are. It's never something that I would say to put aside. Quickly, I want to just jump in and say thank you to everyone who submits their tips. You know, the police, as I spoke about on many different occasions, the police and the public, they need that partnership. We need the public, and the police need the public needs the police. So that partnership is important, and it's instrumental in solving and helping to solve cases like this. Retired Sergeant Melinda says, I believe them when they say they won't stop looking. Thank you, prayers, DutyRon and family, for focusing on finding Summer and loving her and her brothers. Amen to that, my sister. Amen to that. And thank you for your generosity. Much, much appreciated. Never necessary, but always appreciated. Let me just look quickly in the chat so I could say hello. Moderators, just keep an eye out. Any kind of disrespect towards the family or any disparaging comments, just you guys know what to do with that. For the both overwhelming majority of you guys that are here, I want to say thank you for positively interacting and having these conversations. As you know, I am a retired 20-year veteran of the NYPD, detective in the Fugitive Enforcement Squad. So I was out there hunting the bad guys down for well over a decade. I know what it takes to hunt these bad people, get them down, get them in, interview and interrogate. We did hundreds, perhaps thousands of interviews and interrogations. Sylvia Durham, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Ron, for your professionalism and handling this matter. God bless you and our channel members. We're all part of the family together. And the $500 that we sent into the Summerwells reward fund, it went to Civis Bank, and our good friend Trevor Holt, he took it over there. He made the deposit. I got confirmation from him that he took care of that. That comes from all of you guys, and it comes from the generosity of my Patreon supporters and all of the folks who contribute to this wonderful community that we have here. It's without you guys, we'd have nothing. So I want to just do a quick roll call, and I want to say thank you to everyone being in here. Meglo, I hope you're recovering. Love and respect to you, Meglo. She just got out of surgery a week or two ago, and then from a rehab, then to home. So she's home now a couple of days, and sending you lots of strength and prayers and positive vibes, Meglo. I hope you recover and get back to yourself soon. Let's do a quick roll call and see where everyone's from, city, state. And if you are new, please, if you're new, just let me know by putting a new in the chat, and I could say hello to all the new folks who have recently subscribed. So let me take a quick look at the chat. I got to look down here for a minute. Hello from Iowa, says Granny H. Great to see you. Hello. Meglo is here. Great to see you, Meglo. Hi, Stace. Also Portland, Oregon, says Jerry. Thank you so much for being a channel member. Nana, thank you. Great to see you. The chat's moving quick. Michael Murray from Minnesota in the house. Hollywood, Florida, says Pete from Florida, my good friend Pete. Jersey, Donna, great to see you. Hello, Kat. Great to see you. Thank you. I'm going to slow the chat up. Crime Ghost, great to have you. Queensland, Australia. I always like to say, put another prawn on the Barbie. Thank you so much for joining, Crime Ghost. Colorado Springs, Jen Lowe, checking in. Cape Cod, Southwest Michigan. Hello from Kansas, says Janet Young. Great to see you. Brent Montgomery, always in and always ready. Washington State, Texas, the great state of Texas, CCC. Thank you. Overland Park, Kansas. Gail is checking in. Gail B, my good friend. Fuzzy Doxy. Hi, Georgia. Welcome. Dee Dee, thank you for being new. Southern Illinois, April. Thank you. Thank you, guys. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Brandy from Texas. Carol with the hearts. Katrina Catress, love and respect always. Thank you for being a wonderful part of this community. All right, let's dive into this. Okay. So 27 days, not a lot going on, not a lot of conversation. The TBI made a statement that the next press conference would be when there's a sufficient sufficiently or significantly, not sufficiently, if it was a significant update in the case. Now, we all would say to ourselves, darn it, we want to know weekly what's happening. We need to know what's happening on a weekly basis, but they just don't want to come out and just regurgitate a lot of the same stuff. Okay. I am going to have a canine expert. For those of you who know me, I love to have law enforcement professionals come on to the panel. My next panel is going to involve a canine handler. He's a local New York City police canine handler. He's got a lot of credentials, and I'm going to have my friend Charlie. He's a repeat panel member. He's a member of the retired from the Secret Service, the United States Secret Service. So Charlie's going to come on. I'm going to invite him to come on and engage in the conversation from the federal side. I want to hear from some of my federal partners from the FBI and the Secret Service and the State Department about what the role is of the FBI here in the Summer Wells case. What role does the FBI provide for the state and the local Sheriff Lawson and the TBI? So we're going to get into that in the next panel. So if you're not yet subscribed, consider subscribing now and hitting that notification bell. So when you hit the bell, when I do go live or if I schedule a live stream, the bell enables you to get that notification. So when I do go live, you will know what's happening. So I'm going to look quickly at the chat before we go into this next video that I have queued up. I want to see what kind of questions are coming through on the chat, because I see some people saying, great question, but I'm not seeing the questions. Let me just look quickly. Hold on a second. And sometimes it helps to highlight the questions like in all capitals, or if you send it in a super chat, like I could see it because it comes up and then I can highlight it. Now I got to go back. So if you send the questions back over again, I'll take a peek at it. And if there's something that's worth answering, I will give you a quick answer. Let's see quickly. Hello from Ohio, Pink Butterfly. Good to see you. Hi, Linda. Great to see you from Canada. Why are all these young kids going missing? Our two boys from California are still outstanding. I wish I had the answer. I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer to that. I wish I did. So I don't, I'm trying to stick to this conversation right now. We're trying to stick to the conversation. We got bigger. Yeah, I agree. All right. I don't see the questions, so I'm going to go straight to, I didn't, KH, let me just highlight that question. Let me just highlight that question quickly. All right. So KH asks me if I saw DonWells' new interview today. I did not. I'm not particularly paying attention to his interviews because, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even comment on them because it's really the investigators that are investigating this case. It's their job to dissect or go over DonWells' statements that he's making online. I'm not going to get into it ever on a live stream because I would never want to jeopardize the integrity of this investigation. So no matter what DonWells or Candace Wells says on an interview, I'm not going to ever break it down or go over that because I don't want to step on anybody's toes investigation wise. Millie, thank you so much for the super love. I appreciate that. Let me highlight Jen Lowe's first. What would be an example of a significant update on the case possibly look like in regards to this case? Good question, Jen. Significant updates would be additional suspects, search sites that they've already searched, and if they maybe found some evidence, and they may or may not give that out because that also could jeopardize things. But significant updates could mean anything from additional suspects, additional things to look for, cars, trucks, people, things of that nature, or them coming up with a recovery. I mean, they're not going to just update you on the little bits and pieces of a case. They're not going to tell you we have a new suspect unless they are close to or have captured or have brought that person in. So I don't think that they're going to really fold and show their cards to anybody with just small, with small or large. We're not going to hear an update unless it's something significant. So understand that it's just a matter of keeping things close to the chest, so this way they don't, give up what they got going on. Thank you, Millie M. Always great to see you. I don't actually ever get a chance to see some of these friends that do follow and leave comments on a regular basis down below. So it's always good to see some of the new, some of the old folks that I don't get a chance to see in on the chats. So it's great to see you, Millie. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chat. All right, let me play quickly this little piece. This is another. They labeled this as a breaking news alert. I don't know why it's a breaking news alert, but let's see what they have to say about this. I'll play this for you and I'll come right back.
We're following a breaking news alert tonight. A desperate plea for help in the search for 5-year-old Summer Wells. News 2's Haley Wilgus at the WKRN.com alert desk tonight. And Haley, this investigation remains very active.
Erica, it does, and it's hard to believe it's been nearly a month since Summer was last seen. Today, investigators say they've received more than 930 tips as their search for the Hawkins County girl continues. Summer was reported missing on June 15th, and an Amber Alert for her remains active. The 5-year-old was last seen at her home, but the circumstances surrounding her disappearance remain unclear. Today, investigators say they continue to pursue every tip as a potential lead.
Right now, everything is still on the table. We're still trying to find out what happened to Summer. So everybody's still a person of interest. We're still looking at help from the landowners too, to go back and check their trail cameras, their security cameras. Everything that we do is trying to put a piece of the puzzle together to find Summer.
The TBI tells us Summer's parents have remained cooperative throughout this investigation. Anyone with credible information about the girl's disappearance is urged to call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
So that to me didn't really come across as a breaking news alert, but that's what they had to report. Okay, so here's the thing. They're saying again that the parents are cooperating. Yes, when they ask them to come in, they come in. If they ask questions, they answer the questions. But because they say that the parents are cooperating, it doesn't mean that they're saying that they're innocent and that everything has been cleared. Because don't forget, it's an investigator's job to check and double check and match up all the stories. We talked, me and Bill Cannon, retired detective sergeant, on his channel the other night. We talked about all of the video camera surveillance footage at like the Walgreens and the other place that they went to go shop. I don't know the name of that store, but I would imagine that both those locations, Walgreens definitely has surveillance 24/7 when they're open. So they are going to go and look at all that stuff and match it up. So there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. And right now we're talking about electronics forensics, all of the computers, the cell phones, and we know the mom. We know Candace is very active in TikTok and social media. So they're going to be looking at all of Candace's electronic footprint. And they're going to look at Don's, and they're going to look at the extended family, grandma, if she had anybody in the family circle. And they're going to look at everything and everything. Talking about in the chat about drumming up fundage to go towards the police department and the searchers, that's a difficult thing. It's not something that could be done easily. So the answer to that question is that would be difficult at best to try to drum up fundage for the searchers and for the police department, because most police departments can't take personal donations from citizens. It's got to be done through a budget. And that's why you hear them talking about a budget. So also, I before I go any further, I want to just say thank you to everyone who goes over to DutyRon.com and sends me little snippets and tips and news stuff like this, news clips like this. Retired Sergeant Melinda, she is probably at the top of the heap of sharing information with me. So people like Retired Sergeant Melinda and so many others, if I mentioned everybody, it would be going like I would be going on and on and on and on with names. But I thank everybody for sending in the tips and sending in footage and things of that nature. You guys are awesome. I want to just also remind you, okay, so there's hundreds of thousands of people who go missing every year in the United States. A lot of folks, and this goes for young kids and adults, do not get the national stage like this. So when a case gets the national stage, it's almost like sort of like winning the lottery, if you so to speak. So there's so many nameless and faceless missing people out there that don't get a fair shake. And I wish that there was a better way to do this, or more people to talk about these things, or more news coverage. But it's sad. And I always want to say prayers for the missing and all of the folks that are outstanding, that are out there as we speak. And as we speak, there's more people going missing. And it's sad, so if we could get some prayer emojis in the chat for all of the missing across the United States and across the world for that matter, that would be a nice thing. And I think also it's important for us to understand that law enforcement has a hard job to do. There is so much ground to cover, not just with the searching, but with the investigation part. It takes so many investigators to do a complete and thorough investigation. You have no idea unless you've done it. And it's just so time consuming. And that's where the frustration comes in, when they are when they're getting in leads and they're getting led in the wrong direction by redundant, not valid information. It takes somebody to answer the phone or answer the email, and then it takes an actual investigator to go and check on that lead. So it's really bogs down the investigation. You heard Sheriff Lawson speak about it, and you hear it in all these cases. And with our boys over in California City, you heard the Bakersfield folks talk about it, the police chief in California City, John Walker, and Chief Terry over in Bakersfield's, they're using all their resources to, go out and do these searches and do the investigations. It's difficult when they get bogged down. So, again, people are sending in a lot of things, questions like this. I'll read it, but I'm just going to say this. Again, I don't get involved with that kind of stuff. What was your opinion of the church member that did an interview the other day? I thought law enforcement would have been ticked off about that. Well, we can think all we want, but we just don't have access to the case file, and we don't have access to the law enforcement. I would say that, those kind of interviews should be conducted by a detective. The detectives that are working the case, the state TBI agents who are working the case, the FBI. So they're going to want to have an interview again, probably with that church member. I didn't personally look at the interview, but I got dozens of emails about it, dozens of people telling me about it, but I just don't have the time to start going around and looking at it. So again, interviews for potential witnesses are or should be interviewed by law enforcement, not by anybody else. Those people aren't charged with solving a crime. The detectives on the case are charged with it. They should be referred, if they have something to say, to the proper. When someone sends me a tip and says, I have somebody who knows something, I send them straight to TBI. And I tell them, if you don't want to do it, then I'll do it. I don't say, give me the person's number. I want to talk to them. It's just counterproductive. But, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, so to speak. So people are going to do whatever they want to do. But I say stick with stick with what's right. They're asking you if you have information, if you know someone that has information, send them over to 1-800-TBI-FINE. And that's your civic duty. That is a job well done by a civilian. A job not well done by a civilian is to actually conduct an interview on someone who's a potential witness. Just doesn't make sense. So, again, this is where we're at with this. It's a lot of craziness that's going on. Mystical, thank you so much for the super love. I appreciate that. There's a lot of craziness going on. Again, we need to focus on what's important here. And what's important here is finding Summer Wells. And by speaking about it in a positive way, speaking about it, not causing negative attention and energy on this case is helpful. The more people who share it onto social media, share a respectful live stream, and have a case discussion about it, where you're not talking about wild rumors and things that that don't make sense. That's not helpful. What's helpful is sharing it to your social media platforms and having a conversation, having a sensible conversation about it. And that's the difference between chaos and someone who is going to be focused on what the mission, what the main goal is. The main goal and mission is to find out what the heck happened to Summer Wells. It's not to argue and fight with each other. It's not to interfere with an investigation. By interfering with an investigation, you're slowing up the process of potentially finding out what happened. And that's what I want to emphasize here. I'm not scolding anybody. I'm just saying we're adults. And we're all parents or grandparents or cousins or aunts and uncles. Some of us might not be parents. But what we're talking about is a 5-year-old girl who just vanished, according to her parents, right? She just vanished off the face of the earth. How is that possible? How is that humanly possible that in the midst of either 2 minutes or 20 minutes, this girl just vanished? As we heard her mom say, I looked for her and she was just gone. It sounds familiar, right? It sounds like Trezell and Jacqueline West. I went outside to get firewood. Came back, and not one baby was gone. Or in an Orson West, there was 2, a 3 and a 4-year-old, now 4 and going on 5. That whole thing sounds familiar. Who here, by a show of hands, is following the Orrin and Orson West case in California City and Bakersfield? The parents, his adoptive parents, said the same bull line. It was the same line. Trezell and Jacqueline West said he went in, asked his wife where the kids were. The kid was in the back. The kids were in the back playing, 2 boys, and all of a sudden they're gone. So now we have fast forward to June 15th, and that was December 21st, 2020. Now we fast forward to June 15th, 2021. You have Orrin and you have Summer Wells, the parents, saying the same thing. 2 minutes later, I come back and she was gone. How does that happen? It doesn't make sense. The whole thing stinks to high heaven. The same way Trezell and Jacqueline West's story stinks to high heaven. How many here are on board with that? I mean, you can disagree with me. You could disagree with me all you want. But I don't feel that anybody is 100% innocent, including the 2 parents in California City, now living in Bakersfield, and these 2 here in Rogersville, Hawkins County, Tennessee. I don't buy it. I wasn't born yesterday. I've done investigations for 20 years in the biggest police department in the United States. And guess what? This whole case stinks to high heavens. It smells like sorry. So for those of you who are with me, I appreciate that. Julie, thank you so much for the super love, $20 super chat, channel member, her and Dr. Ed. I didn't get to the P.O. box today. I'm sorry, but I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to definitely go tomorrow. I promise. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Actually, that's a super sticker. Cleta, thank you for being here, and thank you for the $4 super sticker. Greatly appreciated. Matty Boy Sully, thank you for the $20 super chat. Awesome, brother. And I think I got everybody else. All right. So, again, let me see if I can highlight it. Most of you guys are agreeing with me. I'm not trying to rile you guys up. I'm just trying to make sense of this, right? And what doesn't make sense is the story that's presented to us. The story of I picked my mother up, and this is the condensed story. So please, for those of you who are like, dot your I and cross your T, I'm just going to give you an overview. The story of picking the mom up from a hospital, whether it was a procedure or a surgery or a foot doctor or whatever it was. She said she was going to get her mom medication. She was in the hospital earlier. We don't know how she got there, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant at this time. But you pick your mom up from some type of procedure, let's call it some type of procedure, and then you got to wait for Walgreens for medication. I don't know what kind of medication, but who cares? You come home from that hospital, and her mom, I'm assuming, is in her 70s or close to 80 or whatever the age is. She's not, it doesn't make sense to go out and plant flowers. That whole story stinks. Heather Williams, thank you for the $10 super chat. I'm from Bakersfield, California. Classic and Sincere are our boys. They are. They need to come home. Where are the boys? Where are our boys? So let me get back on to what I'm saying. The story from that point going forward does not make sense to me. And the letting the daughter come in the house and telling the boys, the three boys, watch your sister. And we hear the father say, well, they were on the internet. You know how the boys are. They're on the internet. And then she says that she came back in 2 minutes. Okay. Whether it was really 2 minutes or if it was 10 minutes or 12 minutes or 20 minutes or 15 minutes, she tells everybody she doesn't like to go for walks because of the animals, the wildlife. But in that same breath, she says, I went for a walk. I don't know where I come from. Where I come from, that smells and stinks to high heavens. That story sucks. I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh, but for me, I don't, that doesn't jive with me. That story just doesn't jive with me. So that's why from the beginning and the get-go, I was like, no, I'm not buying this. I don't buy this bag of shells. I'm not buying floodland in Florida. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys want to buy floodland in Florida? Because it seems like people have a lot of floodlands to sell over in Florida. I mean, maybe these two are in real estate. I don't know. I mean, I'm just being sarcastic now. But, again, it just doesn't make sense. Craziness. I just don't get it. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Let me look quickly. Not many questions came in. I know you guys are chiming in. Oceanfront property in Arizona for sale here. I love that one. That was a good one. Let me find that. And highlight it because that's highlight worthy. 2 minutes of statement in the basement. Someone was underwater. Look at a bruise on her head. Put the pieces together. Again, I had Barbara Butcher, the New York City medical examiner specialist, and she debunked the whole bruise thing. I'm not going into that. I'm not even going to have a discussion about it, because if you want to look at some of my previous stuff, just go back and look at my previous live stream. And I had a New York City medical examiner who came on and debunked that whole thing. So again, I know I got Joey Brooklyn, who's my head of security. If you're not yet subscribed, follow me on all things social media. One word, DutyRon, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I have a police crime chat group and a YouTube video share group. I encourage you to go over and join that on Facebook. Go over to my website, DutyRon.com. Over on DutyRon.com, you can grab and ask for a invite to my Discord server. The Discord server is a lot of fun. There's a lot of great people in there. I encourage you guys to check it out. There it is, DutyRon.com right here. Where is it? There it is. Go over and check out DutyRon.com. Subscribe to my good friend Joey Brooklyn, Florida Pete, and Police Off the Cuff. Can't forget about Police Off the Cuff. Bill Cannon, great guy. So he's putting out some really good content, and he is going to continue on covering this case. Guys, just so you know, I go back and I look at the chat. So if there's any like disrespect in the chat and my mods didn't get a hold of it, I will take care of it. I don't allow any of that stuff because that's what we do here. So for those new people who are coming in and that might not know the ground rules here, any disparaging comments, even if they're generated towards the mom and dad or who you think is the bad guy or bad girl here, I just get rid of it because I don't like that. I don't like it. We can discuss this case like adults and civilly with, being humane towards the people. Well, so let's just try to do that. Appreciate everybody being here and cooperating. Let me see. Brent says, put out some trail cam, folks. I was amazed to see a mountain lion in my shed area. Never know what you could see creeping around. Yeah, absolutely. Heather Williams says, DutyRon, the song by George Strait, Oceanfront Property in Arizona. There you go. I appreciate that. So this was a little bit less of a, I usually like to do a panel, but I want to give you guys a little bit of just a conversation. It's important that we converse about this. I may do in the next couple of days a live call-in show. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about an opportunity to call in. I can't have everybody call in, but what I may do is on DutyRon.com, I will set up an area on there where you can let me know if you want to call in, because I'm not going to just let anybody just call in. I want to vet kind of the people who are calling in just to make sure that, we have an intelligent conversation. But I think it would be a healthy thing for us to do. I'll have a panel of Joe Murray, who is a defense attorney. He is a criminal defense attorney. I'll have Joe Murray and maybe myself and Bill Cannon. So I'll have the retired homicide detective sergeant and Joe Murray, our law correspondent, our official legal correspondent. I'll have three of us on, and we'll do like a live call-in show where folks can call in and ask some questions. So Lisa says only if she could speak to Popeye. He's right here. He's getting ready to go to sleep. So that's why I got to wrap it up. So I think it'll be healthy for us to do that, to have a little bit of a call-in with conversation, but it needs to be a healthy conversation. No, nothing outlandish, nothing disrespectful. I think we'll do that. I think we'll set something like that up. I think that'll be a good thing for all of us to do. So guys, love and respect from my house to yours. I like to end all of these live streams by saying, God bless the world. God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, and all victims of crime and their families across the globe. I want to ask for some prayers for beautiful Summer Wells. She is a 5-year-old little girl who's missing. Prayers for the community, for the law enforcement, for the searchers, for the folks who are continually working on this case, for Orrin and Orson West, for Maya Miliete, and all of the case of missing folks across our country, across the world. So light it up with some prayers and some hearts in the chat. And let me know down below in the comment section what you think about the ideas for a call-in show, and also our canine specialist coming on to talk about the search and the scents in the car, the scents in the home, the scents outside the home, and the scents in the areas where she was alleged to have gone swimming and playing. I want to get some answers for us about what the dogs are capable of and what do you think that they did. So we're going to get into that. And thank you for those prayers and hearts, lighting it up for the community over in Rogersville, Tennessee, Hawkins County, the rescue folks, the police, the fire, everybody that's on this, the teachers, community folks, the church members, the good folks that are really want to get answers and bring Summer home. So guys, peace from New York City. Love and respect from my house to yours, and I'll catch you on the next live stream. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you're new, thank you. If you're watching the replay, I love you. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll talk to you next time. Good night from New York City. From DutyRon. Crime Time with DutyRon. Good night. Peace, guys.